So it is the time that how the students in particular they can get inspiration from
Rasa, please mute your mobile.
Yeah, how we can get the sorry for the technical failure. And now it's time to invite Professor Dr. Ravinder Rena, Professor of Economics and Internationalization Project, Northwest University Business School, Northwest University, South Africa. But before I invite Professor Ravinder Rena, I will request Dr. Clark to have his brief introduction. Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark is around. Dr. Clark. So I think there is some technical problem with him, and as I know, Dr. Rena is the former colleague at Eritrean Institute of Technology in Eritrea. After that, he served near Australia. I am forgetting the country. Then in so many countries he has served, and at present he is serving in South Africa. So he's one of the most prolific writer, researcher, academician, and we have, Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark. So there is some technical failure. Dr. Ravinder. Dr. Ravinder?
Yes.
Dr. Rena?
Yes.
Actually, we have Dr. Clark to introduce you, but maybe due to technical reasons, he is unable to connect. So what is your advice, please?
Well, one of you can introduce, so it doesn't matter. You can just take some brief note, and then you can probably say few things.
Okay. Can you call Dr. Clark, please? I think Dr. Islaq is there back in the webinar.
Yes, sir.
Please introduce. Actually, we were eagerly
Thank
waiting
you,
for
sir.
you. Yeah.
Professor Dr. Ravinder Rena is a profound academician and distinguished scholar in economics, writer, editor, advisor, and public intellectual with over 28 years of teaching and research experience in Asia, Pacific, Africa, and European continents. He has been an independent consultant and training expert. Professor Rena is currently working as Professor of Economics and Internationalization Project Leader at the Business School, Northwest University of South Africa. He has remained as a Professor of Economics at the Department of Economics, University of the Western Cape Town, South Africa. Professor Rena earned his PhD from the Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad, India, with an achievement of University Gold Medal. He got the prestigious award of the Best Researcher 2011 from the Namibia University of Science and Technology, and also the recipient of the STEAM Award, Man of the Science and Technology, year 2012, which was bestowed upon him by the American Biographic Institute, USA. He has 10 books and published more than 120 articles in reputed national and international peer-reviewed journals. Besides, he has published more than 150 articles in newspapers and magazines and websites and presented over 40 papers in the national and international conferences and seminars. He is the founding editor-in-chief of an international journal of education, economics, and development, and associated editor of African Journal of Science, Technology, Innovation and Development, and Scopus Index Journal published by Index Science, UK. He has supervised PhD, MPhil, and master thesis and dissertation across the globe. He served many academic and professional committees as chairman and as a panel member. He's also been an external examiner moderator for master and PhD of different universities of Africa, Europe, Asia, America, and Australia. He has visited more than 40 countries in the world. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Itlaq. Now I will request Professor Ravinder Rena to take the floor and enlighten us, please.
Assalamu alaikum, namaste. Good afternoon, or good evening, good morning to different people across the globe. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be part of this particular forum, especially to speak on such a great noble personality's birthday, 89th birthday, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the great scientist, the missile man of India, and also such a noble personality. Everybody likes him, irrespective of the religions, irrespective of the nations. Everybody likes him because of his humble simplicity, knowledge, and the great wisdom. It's also my honor and privilege, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm sharing the floor today with the great stalwarts to whom I consider as my brothers, Professor Mamo Muchi, the professor from China University of Technology, and Professor Shankar Chatterjee, who happened to be my colleague, and we worked together at Heritage Institute of Technology more than 1.5 years ago, 1.5 decades ago. And also, it is my honor and privilege to be part of this program as Dr. Professor Ashik Raja, who has been my colleague, my friend, a brother. I know him for more than 2 decades. So with this few opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I also would like to acknowledge and proudly appreciate for the invitation that given from the principal of the college, Professor Shakil Ahmed Raina, and the government PG college, Jammu Kashmir, Rajouri. So I also appreciate all the colleagues and the participants who are sitting here with us from different corners of the globe. So I do acknowledge and appreciate your presence here. So with that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to speak a few words. As Professor Shakil Ahmed, the principal, also mentioned a few things about APJ Abdul Kalam ji. So there is, whatever we speak about APJ Abdul Kalam the whole day today, that is very small to give him a better picture about his contributions, about his knowledge and wisdom. So probably we all know that APJ Abdul Kalam ji, who raised from the scratches, who raised from the zero, and who can become the first nation, or first citizen of the country that was the president of the country. So he has shown to the world that anybody from any background can do something bigger, but not only for himself, for his family, for his society, but also country and the world in general. So ladies and gentlemen, that is why it has been marked, his birthday, 15th of October, that is today, is marked as International Youth Day or International Students Day. We celebrate lots of days, probably on every single day, there's some day is being celebrated. On 5th of October, we have celebrated the International Teachers Day. And now in 10 days time, we could able to celebrate International Students Day. So that is probably coincided with great man, Professor Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, the president, former president of India. So that is, it is a symbol of inspiration for the youth, not only within India, but also in different parts of the world. So he has taught us a lesson that education is the only weapon that can be used by a fisherman's son who can become president of the country. Education is the only powerful tool. A mining worker can become the mining manager, or the son of the mining worker can become the mining manager of any company. And education is the only one who taught us a farmer's child can become a medical doctor, or an engineer, or a lawyer, or maybe a rickshaw puller son also can become probably an IAS officer or IPS officer, and so on. So ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Abdul Kalam ji, he taught us that he raised from the fisherman family. There were only 5 siblings that had, his parents were very poor in those days. And 1931, 15th of October, about 89 years ago, he was born in a small town near to Rameshwaram, a small village near to Rameshwaram. And from that particular area, he could raise himself to the level of a president. So that is the symbol that is only possible through the education. So ladies and gentlemen, and as of now, we do have radical changes that are taking place across the globe in terms of technological developments, in terms of science and innovation developments, in terms of engineering, and in terms of various other economic and social development process. So he also shown to a number of youth is not only inspiration for the youth that we have today. We got about 60% of our population, they are youngsters, they are youth in our country. So India is the oldest country in the world with the youngest population in the world. So the youngsters, they have a lot of future ahead of them, and they have a lot of scope. They can do a lot of things, but not only for their families, for their society, but also for the country and the world. So President Abdul Kalam, he has worked very hard. As he is a very ordinary student in his student days, but he proven to every one of us, including me, all the professors sitting here, all the youngsters and youth sitting here. He has proven to us that hard work is the one thing that one can believe upon. The hard work never cheat, because hard work sometimes it can probably surpass, it can also beat the smart work or the smart brain. So that is what he has taught us through his hard work. He was a paper vendor, ladies and gentlemen. You can see in Google search that he was using a bicycle to distribute the newspapers early in the morning. So from that level, he could become the first citizen of the country, the former president of the country during 2002 to 2007. So that shows that everything is possible as long as you have the ability, or you are focused, you are hardworking, you are probably go extra mile to do something right for yourself with some moralities, ethics, and the knowledge systems. You can always do something, and that's what he has proven to us. So he is definitely an inspiration for the youth in our country and rest of the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, such a noble man. He raised from MIT, probably MIT, we always remember Massachusetts Institute of Technology from USA, but MIT is Madras Institute of Technology. That's where he has completed his MTech degree in mechanical engineering. And from there, he moved to aerospace engineering, and he became a scientist, one of the renowned scientists of the world, not only in India, and different sciences of the world. That's why we call him today as Missile Man of India. So, ladies and gentlemen, while he was the DrDO director, Defense Research and Development Organization director, we all probably launch missiles from time to time. We launched Trishul, we launched Nag, Akash, and Prithvi, and many other missiles we testing. So while he was probably testing a missile, and it was failed, utter failure. So he was absolutely, his heart broken, and then he doesn't know what to do, and he was thinking that he will be dismissed from his job. But his boss, he came to him, and then they conducted a press meeting stating that today the failure occurred, but doesn't mean that we are going to fail forever, and we have the hope. The hope is a poor man's bread, ladies and gentlemen. And then within a short period of time, they could able to launch another missile, another geo-satellite launch vehicle, which was successfully launched. And then, so remember that he was trying to tell us, or tell the world, that we have lots of leaders. There are academic leaders we have, industry leaders we have, political leaders we have, science and technology, innovation leaders we have. Any leader of this world, if they could able to follow the simplicity and the honesty of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the whole world became much better place today. He was trying to say that if a problem occurs, then the boss or the leader came and conducted the press conference stating that it is my mistake and I am taking the responsibility of this failure today. And when the mission was successful, then the same boss, he told Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam that please conduct the press conference. You don't require me now because it is successful, that you can try to do yourself and manage yourself. So this is what he was trying to propose. Dr. Abdul Kalam was sharing his experiences with some of the Europeans and probably different other philosophers across the globe about a leadership quality. A leader is not a person who can always rule the people, but he can always lead the people. So that's what he was trying to tell us. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, he's such a noble man. I also would like to share with you that while he was the president of the country during 2002 to 2007, his brother sometimes, he got 2 or 3 brothers. Some of them they used to visit. Probably one brother was left because the remaining brothers died before he became the president of the country. When the brother was visiting Dr. Abdul Kalam in the President Palace, Rashtrapati Bhavan, and then he was feeling guilty that whether he could able to pay some rent to the national exchequer because his brother was staying with him, which is not allowed. So that is the kind of concept, that is the guilty consciousness he has got. And he also expressed to his fellow colleagues that, no, my brother stays, I wish I could contribute something like in the form of a accommodation rental on behalf of my brother. So that is the kind of concept. That is the integrity of a leader. That is the integrity of a man or a human being. Whether you are president or whether you are a small peon or you are a paper boy, you need to maintain the integrity, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the man that he could able to make us and also taken us. That is why he's known as a defense scientist, is not known as a politician, ladies and gentlemen. So we cannot consider him as a politician, but we can consider him as a man of honesty and integrity and man of discipline, ladies and gentlemen. So it shows that if every leader in India and in the rest of the world, if they begin to think that it is the people's money that we are wasting, it is the people money that we are using for our own benefits, for our own luxuries, and we shouldn't use, whether it is my own money or it's people money, people's taxpayers' money, it is the same. So that's what every leader, every politician, every bureaucrat, every IAS and IPS or probably chief secretaries, they must begin to think the way that Dr. Abdul Kalam was thinking, ladies and gentlemen, and the way that he was practicing the principles in his own real life. That is what is important. If we could able to practice what he has done, ladies and gentlemen, we can see a different India with a different face, that India could have become the richest country in the world. It used to be the largest economy in the world with about 40% of the total GDP of the world, probably about 250, 300 years ago, we possess in the country. And later, probably we were contributing 25% of the total income of the world, what America is contributing today, ladies and gentlemen. So we could have seen definitely a different picture of India if we practice the integrity and honesty and on those principles, if all the politicians, all the bureaucrats, all the citizens, and all the business community or industrialists, if they could able to depend upon these fundamental principles, ladies and gentlemen, we can always build a better world for us. So in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to quote such a noble personality. That is why he was given Bharataratna, the Diamond of India, in 1997. And he also got a lot of probably honorary doctorate degrees from different countries in the world and different institutions of the world. So that shows the man who has been well-disciplined, knowledgeable man. While he was dying, ladies and gentlemen, he died in an institution, in an educational institution, ladies and gentlemen. In Shillong, Meghalaya, IIM, Indian Institute of Management, Meghalaya. He drove all the way from Delhi and he went all the way to that particular place and where he collapsed, ladies and gentlemen, in an educational institution. So that can show, that can tell us a lot of things about him, his simplicity. And a man dies as a former president of the country, he has nothing. He has got 2-bedroom flatlet, which was given to some of the probably fellow welfare union purposes. And then he has got maybe about 4 or 5 suits. And then he left with 2,500 books. And maybe he has left with very little money in his account. This is the kind of man that we should try to follow his footsteps. And if a politician, if he's in the village sarpanch or mandal level president, or maybe probably an MLA or MLC or member of parliament or a minister, if somebody dies, not only in India, but in the rest of the world, if they die, you can imagine how many hundreds and thousands of crores they left in their accounts, how much assets they possess. So we need to practice the honesty, integrity, and the morals, ethics, the value system in order to build a better world for us. We all think that we should live in a better house, but we never think about the better world. A better world, and we need to build a better world first. In order to build a better world, every one of us are equally responsible, ladies and gentlemen. We need to fight for that. We need to fight against the corruption. We need to fight against the destitution. We need to fight against the inequalities. We need to fight against so many, probably, uh, uh, so many other challenges that the humanity is facing today, ladies and gentlemen. So if we could able to do that, in order to make a better world, you need to improve the quality of life of an individual. If you do not improve the quality of individual life, you cannot build a better world, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever world that we build, that will become like a, top heavy and bottom weak. That can be collapsed at any time, ladies and gentlemen, and it cannot be sustainable. So therefore, we need to have a bottom strong and also top strong structures. That's what is important. And by mentioning a couple of quotations here, I would like to conclude my presentation. Number one is that desire, determination, and also decision. These are the three important aspects every youth member has to remember about. We all wanted to become a better citizen. We all wanted to become a rich people. We all wanted to become knowledgeable and people with wisdom. But how many of us we are working towards that? That's what is important. So having a desire does not take you anywhere. You need to decide. So if you want to become a manager, then that is your desire, then you should try to take a degree in chartered accountancy, in management, in MBA, and in economics, and any other courses. You need to decide. When you decide, then you are moving to the next level. And then once you determine that you wanted to become a manager, and with the determination, everything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. That is what Dr. Abdul Kalam taught us. He has got desire, probably never think of that he will become a politician, not a politician or president of the nation, but the simple desire and decision and determination. With his determination, he could able to accomplish everything in his lifetime. And we probably celebrate his birthday, and we celebrate his life and his achievements, and whatever he taught us through his great quotations. There are lots of quotations that we learn. We also read about him, and with those quotations, we try to implement ourselves in our real life and try to be better citizens, and we can also contribute. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to mention that we all have the ability to be good and to do good things. So please do good things, and please be good to our nation, and try to protect each other, try to respect each other, try to love each other, because always remember that your kindness is the best thing in life. Whether you are a rich man or a poor man, doesn't matter. Kindness is the only one. Even a blind man can see that. A deaf man can hear the kindness. So please be kind and try to support each other instead of having envy and jealous and try to spoil each other or fight against each other. Try to protect each other and unite with the solidarity, unity. We can also build a better nation, ladies and gentlemen. So with these few words, thank you very much once again for the organizers of postgraduate college, postgraduate government college, Rajouri, Jammu, Kashmir, India, and Dr. Ashik Raja, and the principal, Professor Shakil Ahmed Raine, and all other organizers and my fellow speakers. And I would like to thank you once again, and Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you so much, Professor Ravinder Rena, for such excellent deliberations, full of inspiration, full of energy, full of encouragement, and no doubt you have covered all the aspects, and how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's life, that itself is a message for the entire humanity, especially for the younger generation, how he encouraged the students and the youth. And you mentioned that how the hard work pays, and he has rightly said that if you want to shine like the sun, it means you have to burn. If you want to shine, then you have to burn like the sun. So means hard work matters. Yes. So, and what a great teacher he was. And he said in his own words that if you want to pay me tribute, if you want to remember me as a good teacher. And when he died, he died, as Dr. Ravinder Rena has rightly mentioned, that he died, and rather we can say he gave the life for the sake of education. He was just, we can say, he was in a program in Northeast when he gave up his life. So really his life is full of inspiration, and so beautifully explained. Dr. Ravinder Rena, we are really fortunate to have you in this pertinent webinar. Thank you so much, sir. And now I will request another, we can say, stalwart from Ethiopia, and now he's in South Africa. And Ethiopia is the land which has so many, we can say, heritage that has, and that is the land where, if we see the Islamic mythology, the companion of the Prophet, at that time it was called as Abyssinia. First of all, they migrated to Abyssinia, or the Ethiopia, and this is the land where we can say coffee that has been gifted to the world, and even he's also living in the, we can say, another beautiful country, South Africa, Cape Town. I was there in November 2019, but I was not fortunate to meet you. Next time, hopefully, I'll meet. So before I invite Professor Memu Muji, I will request Dr. Ikhlaq to have his brief introduction. Dr. Ikhlaq, please.
Thank you, sir. Professor Memo Mochi is a professor South Africa Research Chair, Innovation Studies. The chair is funded by Department of Science and Technology, National Research Foundation, South Africa. Mr. Memo founded the African Journal on Science, Technology, Innovation and Development in 2008 as its editor-in-chief. Professor Memo has been awarded several prestigious awards. A few of them are long dedicated and valued service awards, Best Institutional Senior Researcher of the Year Merit, Academic Excellence Award, Outstanding Contribution to Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation by NTSF in South Africa. Professor Memo taught over 400 doctoral candidates in doctoral academics across the world in the globally Africa and Leaks networks. He has taken initiatives for running doctoral and master academy in various universities all over the African continent and all over the world. He has been invited for many keynote address and lecture in Africa and globally. He is the founder of the Africa Postgraduate Academy. He has published over 400 research papers, books, book chapters, articles, and many key speeches. Thank you, sir.
Professor Memo, now floor is yours. Please enlighten us. Yes, sir, you have to unmute.
Yeah, okay. Tapped, okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry about the earlier part. Thank you so much, very much. Professor Ravinder Rena invited me. I now, and always I hear, every day I hear from him, he sends me wisdom. Now I know who inspired his wisdom. Now I can see that Dr. Abdul Kalam, or former President Abdul Kalam, is also the great inspiration. I was amazed when he asked me to speak, and I started doing a bit of research, and I asked all my friends to send me any very interesting information about Dr. Abdul Kalam, and it's extraordinary. I sincerely say to you that he may have left us, but he still lives with us. People are not just measured by the physical body and their physical existence in this strange world we live in now, but in the ideas and visions and the inspiration they left for generations. I found him exceptionally rare, and I'm really happy that you in India have a leader, a teacher, and a scientist who also led the country for at least 5 or 6 years as president of this continental nation called India. I must say a few things about India. You must understand that Ethiopia, when India became the independent country in 1947, around that period, the first embassy, I think, the country that probably set up the first embassy was Ethiopia. And for very good reasons, we had a very good relationship between Emperor Haile Selassie and Jawaharlal Nehru or the leadership of that time. And some 700 teachers from India came to Ethiopia. At that time, India was not that rich yet, but these teachers came as free, paid by India. And the elementary school I went when I was a child, a young boy, was called St. Joseph School. And the first directors were from India. They came from Kerala. And I must tell you that I have a brother called Abdul. He's in Saudi Arabia now. Every time I tell him I'm in India, he says, Mamo, I'm jealous. India is also our home, because you know why? Because we learned A, B, C, D, everything, all the English, everything we learned from India. So we have a love for India, trust me, because we grew up with, they were our teachers and they were very nice to us also. So I think I like you to genuinely to see also this extraordinary man, Abdul Kalam, I'm just amazed. I just saw some of the extraordinary lessons that we could draw. And I must say to you that more than India, he could be a great example also for Africa. You know, in Africa, we have a serious challenge. Corruption is a big problem. Just I heard this year, how true it is, I don't know. Just in this year now, before the year has ended, something like $800 billion have gone out of Africa. Huge amount of resources are going out of Africa. Who takes them? God knows. We don't know. And we have a serious leadership crisis, all right, governance crisis, institutional crisis, system crisis. So we need high quality, morally intelligent, emotionally intelligent, intellectually intelligent. That is a combination I see from our extraordinary man, Dr. Abdul Kalam. I think I really would like Africa also to draw huge lessons from him, from his life and from his knowledge that he left. Not just for the global youth. All the youth, of course, must learn from him. His life experience, his life journey, starting not very easy in the early time, but ultimately overcoming all the problems, is a great lesson for all of us. So we can learn. We all go through challenge, but we need to address a challenge, manage it, cope with it, and deal with it, respond to it, and eventually achieve success. I think that's very, very, very good. And I think that lesson from him. He is a great role model because he showed us a life that he led fully with integrity, with optimism, with hope, with determination and compassion. And he said, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which one has overcome. What we learn from him is not so much the success he achieved, but more how he actually dealt with all the obstacles, and then he managed to achieve them. So the success is measured by the degree to which he managed to overcome all obstacles. And I think his selflessness, his acceptance of others and dealing with them when they create problems for the country and for other people, he knew how to handle them, manage them, to say your purpose is to serve the community, not to serve your pocket, something like that, with clear values, with passion and ability to inspire, with setting exceptional examples by his own examples. I think that is the best gift he gave to the people. And I think this is very, very, very important. That's very good. He says, for example, just some quotes that fascinated me. You have a dream before your dream can come true. So he says, you need to know how to dream before your dream come true. Don't read success stories, you'll get a message. Read failure stories, you'll get some ideas to get success. I mean, that's very interesting. What is the secret of success? Making the right decisions. How do you make right decisions? By having great experience. How do you gain experience? When you dealt with your wrong decisions. You know, it is very easy to defeat someone, but it is very hard to win someone, he says. So to succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. So I think dream is not what you see in sleep. Dream is something which does not let you sleep. What an amazing man. So if a country, he says, is to be completely free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are three key societal members who can make a difference. They are the father, he says, the mother, and the teacher. So for younger generation, the family, the way the children grow and they are looked after, and the way the teachers do matters. I sincerely am telling you that these things matter to me as a human being, that my students matter to me more than myself. Sincerely, caring for them is more important than what for me. And I learned from him too, that he, you know, he wants them to develop the children, the courage to think differently. Yeah, the courage to invent, to go on highways that have never been explored, to the courage to discover the impossible, to conquer any problems, to achieve successful roadmap, to succeed in all the visions, missions people have, and then developing a really comprehensive approach to achieve any goal, any challenge. And I think that is the kind of thing he says, to even achieve to be a leader, you need to have the right vision, right passion. Yeah, you should never be afraid of any problem, and you should have the integrity to defeat any problem and confront it. Yeah. So I think that's what he says, that you have to have great dreams to decrease all challenges and transcend all the problems. Let us, he says, sacrifice our own so that our own children can be better to the world. So I think that is the kind of thing that he did. Some just amazing ideas that he had. You know, the human script collapses not when it is deprived of food, but when it is denied a dream, he says. Yeah. So he also suggests healthy interpersonal relations, because they contribute not just to the success in work, he says, but even to happiness, longevity. For you to smile and laugh makes you live longer. No arrogant man, he says, has ever touched the human heart. No despot ever commanded respect. All success in life comes to naught if it's lest with vanity. So I think his wisdom is incredible. His knowledge is incredible. His values, integrity is very incredible. Honesty, sincerity, humility, all of them are combined in a very fascinating way. He actually has, I call him, using Einstein's theory, the relativity of light of the speed of light square of love, respect, all right, to the youth and education, learning, all right, they need to have against the gravity burden of corruption, all right, hate, all this, going for self-interest, for pocket, all this. He actually is an extraordinary example, and I'm so happy to know. In India, I say to some of my Indian brothers and sisters, I also say to you that India is not just, please, also you are from Kashmir. I know you have issues with Pakistan, India, all this colonial use. That is still the colonial legacy from that the British and others left to you. Instead of becoming one family, you become separate from each other and then always fight politically. Please get out of that. Sincerely, I'm advising you. And you know what? You have the best philosophy. Best philosophy has come from India to save this crazy world. I'm sincerely telling you. One human family, the whole world is one. Kubabakam, one human family. Don't call some strangers, some relatives. We're all one. Imagine this, the principle that this Abdul Kalam says fits into these extraordinary ideas. These are the example, the kind of exemplary life. It means this makes India not just a nation or a country or something. If we believe in these ideas, we get a new world. Now we're in this COVID-19 time. We don't know where the world is going. We have demographic explosion. We have climate change. We don't know how to handle all our problems. We do need these philosophies. They are extraordinary lifesaver philosophies. These philosophies you cannot ignore. And they came from India. You should value it. Don't ethnicize it. Don't tribalize it. Don't localize it. Go beyond it and just say, this is a great thing that has been achieved. We have great people that have come from India, great examples like we have, our great man, like our Abdul Kalam. And then we also have great philosophies that came from India. And that is the kind of thing we need to do more. Just to add two more points before I leave. One important thing I'm now discussing with some of my Indian brothers, and some of them we have created something called, was part of it, India Leaks, the Indian Learning, Innovation, Competence Building Systems type thing. I'm part of them. And in fact, when they do conferences and seminars, I always participate. What we want to do is also to create what I call an India-Africa Research Institute. I really like you to help us to set, and this is something that a very good brother, his name is Dr. Rajesh. He's very, very nice young man. And he was also involved with me with with these academies that we train. We go all over the world doing this. We have what we call GlobalX, the Global Academy on Innovation Learning, and we have we have AfricaLix, we have SICALix, China, we have LilaLix, Latin America. We have all this, EuroLix, all these things we have, and then and India Leaks. So we had what we want to do, and recently we even created what's called Nigeria Leaks. What we want is to get the younger generation genuinely to interconnect with each other. I want Africans and Indians to connect, do something together, be scientists, be teachers, be also, even in terms of relationships, in terms of quality relationships we need to do. We also need to use the relationships between India and Africa to be different from the way Europe and Africa related, and between Europe and India related. We want that colonial time to be decolonized completely, and a new approach, a new principle with mutual benefits, where India explicitly measures what it gets, what Africa also measures what it gets. Not selling, not all these silly things like, cheating and all this, one getting an advantage, another losing. We need to change that, a new model with your values, with your principles, with your extraordinary values. You should, and then with the Abdul Kalam type thinking, with this kind of values, let's also relate and try to the most hurt part of the world is still Africa. I want India also to do, and we want to set up. Before, I really would like us all you to join, and I hope I know my brother Professor Ravinder will also join us, and some of you from this institute. I'm glad he introduced me to you. I really appreciate all of you, although I haven't met you yet, but I would love to meet you, and I think we should do that. The other thing I just want to mention to you before I leave is the second thing we're doing is that at the moment, I have been in South Africa developing an advanced course on creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship for venture creations. I'm not just doing, we do it what we call problem-based learning, project-based learning, work-integrated learning, action-based learning. What we want is the students just to be, you know, the Bangalore and the Silicon Valley, we want to develop students that actually action-orientated, that actually produce technology venture startups rather than just talking and giving us to the question I asked them, whether they answer it or not is right, kind of thing. So creating even a new student, a new creator, a new inventor, a new entrepreneur, a new venture, right? All these things we are trying to do. And it's fascinating ideas are coming, and some of our students are doing very interesting things with that. And I think it means that this is something that very much tallies and goes along very much with our Dr. Abdul Kalam's contribution as a teacher, as a scientist, and hopefully we need to make sure that also we care to make sure that when people join politics, they just don't go there for self-advantage or to gain, but also to serve. We need people who serve, not people who value their pocket, their own interests at the expense of the interests of other nations. We need to do that. We need to also create a new value, a new approach where human health complex relationship matters more than the military industrial type thing, where we take advantage by attacking and killing each other. We should forget this. I really would like this. You say something very good in Ethiopia. I really like you also to support Ethiopia now. We are in a very difficult time. You know, the Prophet Muhammad called Ethiopia the land of justice. You know, his entire family was supported and protected. And the Islam religion, the Judaic and Christian religions, they are combined together and supported, have always been supported in Ethiopia. There was no problem. All of them have run. There was an Islamic period in Ethiopia. There was a Judaic period. There was a Christian period. But what we have, and of course we had the Marxist period, where we now have the ethnic division, which is dangerous. This is a colonial part imposed on Ethiopia. I like India also, the way you have managed to solve all the variety. You are a continental nation. You have so much diversity. You still have clan, all this. You must get out of that too. Make sure that, you know, with these values, you create a great thing and become an example also for even countries that are now under difficult situations like Ethiopia. I hope you could do that. And I really appreciate and really congratulate you for organizing this important, and also for giving me the opportunity, inviting me. I feel very humbled for and making me learn this important thing. Happy International Student Day. I really appreciate you all. And I simply say, Namo Sakar, Namise. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Batami kunjo, batami turo. And in fact, it was a well-researched.
I'm so happy you speak
Amharic.
So you speak Amharic, wow.
Yeah, yes, of course. Really, sir, beautiful deliberations, and you started from the great King Haile Selassie, and who was so kind, so hospitable for the entire humanity. And I remember how he promoted and how he given the shelter even to the Rastafarism, the people who are not getting the place anywhere. So such kindness is there in Ethiopia, and then it was led by the Meles Zenawi, and then now the country, I believe that Ahmed, Prime Minister Ahmed, he's also doing good for the country and the entire continent. Of course, India is not only a country, it is a rather name of a civilization. So thank you so much, and our salutes to you that you have regards for India, and same feeling we have for the Ethiopia. And
Thank you.
we pray that these relations should go for a long time, and for the generations to come, and they keep the same pace in terms of the peace and progress. As you said,
Thank you so much.
that there should be some giant, we can say, India, Africa, India, Ethiopia Research Institute.
Yes.
In fact, new education policy, which is a beautiful document now, and that the main agenda of this policy is to have the campuses of some 100 top universities across the globe in India. And Indian top universities, they should have the campuses around the globe. So I think this your vision will be fulfilled by our new education policy, which is launched at just July 29 this year. So it's a wonderful document, and that is a need you have realized. And in fact, it means the like minds, they are going in the same way. So you have also mentioned that how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam could be role model as a teacher, as a scientist, as a we can say stalwart, as a statesman, and of course Asia and Africa, they particularly need the leaders like this who can lead from the front. He was the example of the honesty, as previously Dr. Rena has said, how simple his life was there. So your presentation was full of inspiration, and it was well researched. We are really fortunate, we are very happy, we are delighted that you became part of, you considered our request, and we are also thankful to Dr. Rena that who facilitated to you be here. So thank you so much, sir. Now it is a time to invite
thank you very much.
Another professor, noted scholar, Professor Shankar Chatterjee, who was the professor and the head at the National Institute of Rural Development, NIRD, Hyderabad. And he's one of the most, we can say, prolific writers I have ever seen. Almost on daily basis, some of the article is published in Times of India, Indian Express, Hindustan Times, even Dawn, or other, we can say, national and international papers of the repute. And he's an example, we can say, of the, we can say, nobility and humanity. And I learned a lot, and he's just like the, we can say, elder brother. So we are fortunate he's also amongst us today. But before I invite Professor Shankar Chatterjee, I will request Dr. Ikhlaq to go for the same process. You have to introduce Professor Shankar Chatterjee. Dr. Ikhlaq, before Dr. Shankar speaks.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shankar Chatterjee, former professor and head department of National Institute of Rural Development. He has published 31 books and around 500 plus research papers, articles, comments, and letters. In addition, more than 1,000 comments view upload in the digital column of the leading newspaper. He has received Lifetime Achievement Award from East Environmental Advisor for Sustainable Trust. Achievement and international exposure of Dr. Shankar Chatterjee, late Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Rajouri, celebrated his for presenting paper in FAO room in 2009. Dr. Shankar Chatterjee has delivered talk at All India Radio in Hyderabad, and also delivered keynote address and chaired many sessions in many other seminars, conferences, workshops. In addition, he has evaluated PhD theses of many universities. Professor Swaminathan Sir father of Indian green revolutions. Many Europeans appreciated his research articles. Professor Chatterjee has visited Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Eritrea, Italy, Iran, Indonesia, Malaysia, Namibia, Peru, etc. as international resource person and many countries in Europe, China, Egypt, and Sri Lanka under special personal program. Further, he has traveled across India for academic purpose.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Clark. Now, I will request Professor Shankar Chatterjee to take the floor, please. Professor Shankar.
Are you able to listen?
Yes, sir.
So let me start. Good afternoon, salam alaikum, namaskar, adab. And it is a wonderful moment, World Student Day, because today's students across the world will be the citizen in the world. So good citizen means good society. Good society means across the world, the different countries, different way it will develop. At the outset, I extend my grateful thanks because here many speakers are there to my, just like a brother, younger brother, Professor Ashik Malik, whom I met in Eritrea, and after that we had a close touch. Looks like that he was in last birth, we had a close family relation, blood relation. Also, my grateful thanks to Principal Sahab of this government PG college, who definitely agreed for my talk. And also Mr. Aklakji, who introduced so nicely. With these few words, I would like to start because my knowledge has been enhanced after listening my, like you, younger brother, Dr. Rena, and another Ethiopia professor. So I like to start at the first word with the line from the Ethiopian professor, whom name I cannot remember now. Actually, British legacy, all problems propped up. Yes, 1835, 1835. Our forefathers were born, not even grandfather, and they are long back. So one professor, Thomas Macaulay, came to India, and he did study across the world to understand, across the India, to understand what is the cultural and society, because India is having a pluralistic society. We know China is 92, actually, in fact, they call 95%, anyhow, 92% Han community, HN Han, they are the ruler. So like that, but India is Dravidian, non-Dravidian, Mongoloid, Australian, a lot of this, what anthropology say or sociology says, we know. So Macaulay came and Thomas Macaulay from England, and did lot of study. Hello?
Yes, sir. Listening, sir.
Okay. So yeah. Macaulay came and visited, interacted, and he submitted a report to the British, those days British government, after that Crown took over, that India is such a beautiful country, such a honesty, people will not touch the things, they will not take away the things, and if we have to destroy, then this type of culture in English medium, English culture, our belief, our system should be introduced. And we all know what happened in 1857 incident also, no? Then they become very upset. So fine. So that is one of our bad luck. Anyhow, let us hope things will being developed, and our peace will come. We'll have nice place. And Ashik Saab, my brother, I can tell, when I visited Kashmir with my wife, you arranged. So wonderful people. We cannot imagine the person, such a wonderful people, and this type of places where we have visited. Photographs are still there. People interacted. They used to say Salam Alaikum. I used to say Alaikum Salam Rahmatullahi Barakatuh. The feeling so happy that our own land, we are talking our own people. That is why when we see the feelings, even still now my wife says to anyone, anyhow, let us hope for the best. World will see the peace. and this generation or next generation onwards. And it is a great opportunity to say APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab. Already many of you told he has come from the very low background, poor economic background. But I had the opportunity to listen him after his presidency over. He came to NIRD and now Panchayat Raj. He's a wonderful person, wonderful speaker, great human being, down to earth. You cannot imagine he was a, just last week, after that that presidency he came. And such a person, listening such a person, it looks for me, honestly telling that I am listening to our God, our whatever Hindu way, Muslim way God, Upar Allah, Almighty is listening. So, and down to earth. And few things I would like to inform that he was all we know, he was more interested about teaching. And that is why he used to say, because I started my career as a college teaching, that teaching is a very noble profession, undoubtedly noble. Now, of course, due to money-minded, materialistic and market economy, more teachers are interested for private tuition than that teaching at the college. Or not all, many goods are there. Many good teachers I have seen across the world or in India. Teaching is a noble profession that shapes important character, caliber, his own word, not I'm using any my word, character, caliber, future of an individual. If teacher gives a good guide plus, definitely a person will be a good citizen. And if a teacher can misguide by the name of caste, by the name of religion, by the name of other social factor, geographical factor, yes. But this should not be done. A good teacher is always a good man of value character. And he, Sir APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab told that if the people remember me, according to me, as a good teacher, that will be a biggest honor for me. Yes, we remember many great teachers in the world because they have taught us some economics, Adam Smith, Malthus, they still we remember, and similarly many other fields. APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab was not only popular in our country, he was very popular in abroad. One example, because I would like to not prolong it, like to give one example. One can check up with the Google also. He was honored Bharataratna and many prestigious awards in our country. Fine. Friends, please, I would like to inform you one important thing, that in 2005, Kalam Sahab visited Switzerland. And after that, Switzerland declared, it is an European country, beautiful country. Many of you visited, I have also visited. So 26th May 26 is observed as a Science Day, as a mark of his respect and honor of his visit. Why? Because Switzerland, even when I visited, I interact many people, 2-3 persons told your one president name, some one could not tell, one of course told Kalam, like that. Because they respect him. He has developed India in the science and technology, particularly, okay, missile lab, we can say, and it was a great news in the European countries. So that is why 26 May is observed as a Science Day, as a mark of a visit of our President APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab, which is a very proud news for all of us, particularly to the Indians. His many books are there, but out of 12 books, I had the opportunity to read 1-2 books. Anyhow, his wonderful books are Wings of Fire, My Journey, Ignited Minds, the Unleashing Power with India, and with one Swamiji. He interacted his interaction with one Swamiji because he is above caste, above religion, and above other issues. So, friends, he is a very good friend, M.N. Bojan. And incidentally, I'm happy to inform you, 2 years back, St. Joseph College, which is about 200 years old now, I think 190 years. St. Joseph College, Trichy, where Sir studied, APJ Kalam Sahab studied, I went to deliver talk, naturally with my wife. And APJ Abdul Kalam Sah's big photograph is there. That is a Catholic college, and they do a lot of service to the poor people, poor students also, who at that, anyhow. So APJ Abdul Kalam Sah's huge photographers there. They told me they feel proud, their fathers feel proud, that the principals they call father, they feel proud. Dr. Chatterjee Kalam Sahab studied in our college. It is a great moment, great honor, great prestige, because Kalam Sahab is a man who has not have a single point or ink in his life. And that is why all political parties, irrespective of all political parties, supported him as a presidency. Even the second time also his name came. Anyhow, he did not took interest. Mr. Bojan, B-O-J-A-N, Bojan was his roommate and classmate. Bojan, according to Mr. Bojan, who has written wonderfully about him, because they have seen experience. I have listened his talk, wrote inverted comma in quote, Kalam was more studious and always makes it to library during the holidays, leisure hours, that of course made him enrich his knowledge in science, technology, also varied subjects. Kalam did not show much interest in going to movies or other entertainments. He used to addict, you see, he has mentioned his childhood friend, college friend, roommate, mentioned, he used to addict to books and reading. Of course, this library culture, book reading, made him a knowledge of powerhouse that eventually made him scale new heights in his career. It is Mr. B-O-J-A-N, Bojan, his friend, because one can search. What I'm telling, he was interested in books. Students, yes, students can do other activities. I am a national hockey player, fine. But my father insisted you do study. So like that, Kalam Sahab also was always doing the study and never liked movies. But this way students should like, students should know, students should understand his way. Dr. Rena, yes, when he did not, he wanted to pay money for his brother as a guest. But a lot of activities are there that he never took money, he rather contributed. Where we know in our city, even in Southeast Asia, even in many countries, we know about the behavior of the leaders. But he was above all, he was a hardcore honest. His ideology, his way of life, all these things should be followed by the present generation students. Because I am a senior citizen, I always tell others, younger, follow the life of APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab, along with, of course, few others' names. And he was the motivating students. One very important characteristic, according to him, of a student is to question. Let the student ask question. Exactly. Teacher should be happy that is this boy or this girl has asked me question. And books become the permanent. Books are friends of human lives. It is a very common word. So this is the things. Lastly, I would like to conclude, because all speakers have told very nicely, my knowledge enhanced, my idea, I got a lot of idea. In his book, he has written a book before his death. In the book of 2020, his vision was in 2020, what should be that? Book name is India 2020. Kalamji strongly advocated an action plan, knowledge of superpower, which are most important, sine qua non in this life. With these few points, 5 points I'll read. Agriculture and food processing. We have to be developed and it should be integrated. Agriculture and food processing. Number 2, education and healthcare. Yes, if education and healthcare is developed, citizen will have a good knowledge, good health. We know vicious circle of poverty that Ragnar Nark say, people cannot work if they are poor, their health is poor. So let me, agriculture, food processing, education, healthcare. Number 3, information, communication, technology, which nowadays is very important. Number 4, infrastructure, yes, road, school, everything. If it is not there, how development will take care. Infrastructure, reliable and quality electric power, surface transport, and infrastructure for all parts of the country. So, Kashmir, some areas are not much. North is our Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland. Still, I visited, and there are some problem. Surface transport, and last is self-reliance in critical technologies. If technologically we cannot develop, so we will not be developed that much. So these 5 areas he nicely elaborated. And before conclusion, I would like to say from him in quote, the sir mentioned, "I am not handsome, but I can give my hand to someone who needs help." Wonderful speaking, wonderful. Many people are handsome, but they do not, they may not have good mind or heart, cannot give. But sir is telling, I am not handsome, but I can give my hand to someone who needs help. Because it is this last quote, with this I'll conclude, because beauty is required in the heart, not in the face. So this salute to him, salute to my personally pranam. I am a Bengali man, so my pranam to APJ Abdul Kalam sir, such a wonderful, great human being. With this, I am concluding and giving me a chance. I am very grateful to all of you, particularly our Ashik Malik ji and Principal ji and others. Bye.
Thank you so much, Professor Shankar Chatterjee, for enlightening us with your inspirational speech. And just going on another front, means how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a great human being, how he displayed or demonstrated besides scientist and teacher. And you have reminded us that how the concept of the one human family, and away from the any divisions in the society. So it was a wonderful deliberation, and we are really fortunate to you have in this pertinent webinar, Professor Shankar Chatterjee. Thank you so much, sir. Now, this is the time for the question and answer, and from the participants, if we can have one or two questions or queries to the worthy resource persons. So any question you can ask, any concerns from the participants. Any questions? Yes, please, to make it more interactive, if there are some questions, we can take those questions and we can discuss. Because as Professor Shankar Chatterjee has rightly told, that how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam could be, means India could be the knowledge superpower, and that same thing has been incorporated in the new education policy, that India would be the knowledge superpower by 2040. But for that, we all have to work jointly with the full honesty, with the dedication, hard work, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam displayed through his life, and he is the role model. So any questions, any concerns? If there are no questions, then we will have a round from the worthy resource persons for just for 2 minutes, your observation. So we'll start with Professor Ravinder Rena ji. Just for 2 minutes, your observations and any final comments.
Well, Dr. And Professor Ashik Malik ji, thank you very much for the opportunity. Indeed, our brothers and also the great philosophers, Professor Mama Mochi and Professor Shankar Chatterjee, they covered major aspects of the life philosophy, how the life of the human being should be like. We should be a role model for somebody, because as a matter of fact, we all, in the coming 50 to 70 years period, we all will be leaving this world, and we never come back here. And we know that. But we begin to think in a manner that we are going to be here permanently. And we are thinking that we're going to live here 1,000 years. But 50 to 70 years will go just like that. Life is a bubble. And particularly with this COVID-19 situation, ladies and gentlemen, that we learn lessons. We learn life is a bubble. There are so many great people that they passed away with this situation. I mean, more than 1 million people died all over the world. Probably about 38 million people got infected by this. So there are so many rich people also died with this virus. That great Balasubramaniam, probably the great singer who sung 48,000 songs, he also passed away a few weeks ago. So the life taught us, I mean, although we can do nothing because nothing is in our hand by this virus, but we begin to empower ourselves, think that we are very powerful, and then we are doing everything selfishly. So if we take the life of Dr. Abdul Kalamji, that is the life, that is the human. He just taught every one of us human philosophy. There is no religion, there is no faith, there is no money, there is no power, and only power is that it is a human power, that is human life. The way you are humble, like Professor Shankar Chatterjee was also saying that, we may be thinking that we are handsome today, and the Devananda or Dharmendra, Jitendra, all those film actors, Hema Malini and Rekha, once they used to be beautiful, handsome, but now the beauty should go from face to heart. And that is why Abdul Kalamji was saying that I'm not handsome, but at least I got hands to help someone. So we all have got hands, we all got some heart. So with this hands one side and the good heart on the other side, we can help each other. So there is no way that if the same heart can love a person and the same heart can hate a person, so we should give more priority to the love, because love is permanent. And it is just like, probably the devil we talk about, none of us we like the devil, but devil is like, and it just like hate is devil, and love is like God. So therefore, if we could able to practice the simple philosophies, that we are not going to be permanently stationed in this planet, and whatever we do in our lifespan, respect other human beings. And the concept of namaste is that the divine in me is saluting the divine in you. So every human being, the 7.8 billion people living on this planet, they're all divines actually. So God is invisible. God will make other human being as a God to help somebody else. Whether it could be a doctor, whether it could be any kind of human being. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we all have got some sort of ability to help other human beings. So instead of destroying the other human beings, we need to help each other. We need to love each other, and we need to live together happily like one human being. Because like Prof Mamo was also saying that Vasudaika Kutumbam, in a sense that the whole humanity in this world is one family. And when we have one family, and when we have all a population of our world, brothers and sisters, then what is the need of fighting actually? What for you are fighting with each other? So fighting never take us anywhere, but it's only the love will always take us somewhere. So with this few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude. And Professor Ashik Malikji, thank you very much for the opportunity to share these few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have beautifully said that love is enough to rule the world, and there must not be enmity, because we are the member of one community, that is humanity. So thank you so much, Dr. Professor Ravinder Rena ji. Now, just for 1 minute, Professor Memo Muchi, please just your final comments for just for one minute, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashak Malik. Thank you for your, I love your Amharic. Please continue learning Amharic. Let me also learn some of the Indian languages. No, I just want to say, after he left the presidency, what he did was fascinating. Dr. Kalam Abdul, Abdul Kalam. He launched a program for the youth of India, and he called it "What Can I Give" movement. The main purpose, what can I give, is to stop what can I take. How do I take? Is to defeat corruption. That was extraordinary, what he tried to do. Another very important point I want to say is that he was spiritually also very much a Muslim, and he wrote a book on religion also, which is very, very good. I think it's very, very important. His spiritual power. It's called Transcendence, my spiritual experience with Pramukha Swamij. He wrote a book and he practiced Muslim, namaz and Ramadan, everything in his life. Now, I just want to say something very important. The extremists now that have arisen, that are doing, they are attacking Islam. I myself fought for 2 years in England when I was teaching a course, Ideas of Science. There was a student called, my student from Morocco, she's Muslim, her name was Gita Al-Ahrak. She told me, Mama, why are you always teaching about Einstein and Newton? There's atoma, optics, algebra, mathematics, all came from, why you don't do that, she said to me. Then she insisted, I was a bit, I didn't immediately respond well. Then she got really upset with me. When she got upset with me, I took her seriously. And then I said, okay, let me do it, but then I must learn about it. Then she gave me the Quran. I swear to you, I read the whole Quran. And what I see from these people, sincerely speaking, I feel so sad. Allah will be very upset. What they are using his name and misusing. And I think we should learn also from this great leader. He left a legacy for all of us. Honestly, even he wrote a book and he was very spiritual. He was not a thief. He was not interested in money or anything. He was interested in serving. We need people like that in this world. If we do that, we'll save the world. Otherwise, with all these extremists and stupid things we see, the world will go nowhere. So I really respect you for making me learn about this extraordinary man who is a great example for humanity, for the kind of humanity we are now, and the great ideas that came from India. We should value it. We should not say, oh, it came with the Hindus, it came with the Timalis. We shouldn't say Tamil, everything. We shouldn't localize it. We should go beyond. We should universalize religion. We should really do that. And we had great leaders like that, and we learn a lot from them. And let's continue to really make him live longer. He may have gone physically, but he's alive spiritually, with his education, with his knowledge, in every sphere, with leadership, and all the things we need to do until we completely learn and do it. He is still with us all the time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate my brother, Professor Ravinder, and all of you brothers, Dr. Ashak, and all of you in the university, the Vice Chancellor, and all of the people of India, and just unite. No caste system, don't fight with religion, universalize religion, be spiritual, no corruption, just serve, give, don't take. He said, can you imagine he's created a movement like that? I cannot believe it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And you have rightly said that he does not own any property, but accept the hearts of the millions, rather billions of the people, and that is his property. He has owned the hearts and the minds, and that is the true, we can say, property. And we have to copy this separate if we really want to live, as Professor Rena previously said, that we have to go maybe before the turn of this next century. We will be no more here. So the only thing that we can stay, that is by our, we can say, goodness and our contribution, and by making the property in the minds and the hearts. So thank you so much, Professor Memo. Now, one word from Professor Shankar Chatterjee. Professor Shankar.
Thank you, Sheikh Dada, Bhaiya. Just, yes. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes,
audible?
Sir. Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are audible, Dadaji, but we cannot see you. Can you just adjust your face to the camera, please?
Yeah, you have to show the
Thank
face,
you.
please.
Actually, no issue. No issue. But yesterday the building collapsed.
Okay.
So anyhow, I managed with my one. I like to suggest all the students, please follow the life of him, the like helping hand to the teachers. I'm telling to the students. And you see, our principal Ji was telling about, yes, religious books showed us good things in Islam. Nabi Yunus, I really like the Kahani, Ramayan, Mahabharat. We respect good people. So in Judas, no Christians keep Judas' name because Judas was son. So good citizen, like that type of lesson we have to learn from the religious book. Lastly, Kalam Sahab was very much interested for study. And in his biography, I have read his mother, Ashia Amma, South India, Amma used naturally, mother was Muslim. Anyhow, Ashia Amma sold her bangle at the cost of, I think, 1,000 rupees, gold bangle, and funded the money. It can see in Google. So please understand the students how much the poor persons do. Your parents doing. Please do a good citizen, good study, ask questions, good human being. Thank you very much. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Professor Shankar Chatterjee, for that. The only we can say thing we can do that we should be good human beings. And
exactly.
What is the national education policy, new education policy, even the old one, that the whole purpose of education is to make the human beings the good human beings. So thank you so much, Professor Shankar Chatterjee, for being part of this pertinent webinar. We are so fortunate and we are honored. Now this is the time to for the final remarks from our worthy principal, Professor Dr. Shakil Rena, to have final remarks. Before we go, we will go to the vote of thanks. Professor Shakil Rena ji.
So, good evening to all, because here in India it is almost evening, and that is why I am saying good evening. Respected Professor Ravinder Rena Sahab, Professor Nemo Muche, Professor Shankar Chatterjee, I am highly thankful to you people that you have very clearly and very I think you have told us a lot about Professor APJ Abdul Kalam, and moreover you have told us that how his theory and his quotes and his sayings may be implemented in the life to become a good human being. I, on the behalf of my all colleagues and staff and students, I am highly thankful to you people, sir, for sparing your precious time and enlightening us regarding the great visionary scholar Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Though this we are to some extent we are unfortunate that due to this frequent resistance of corona, we are unable to sit in some conference hall and dining on dining tables to share the dinners and tea and breakfast and lunch. But with this hope, we hope that inshallah very soon this problem will be finished and we will be able to organize such seminars in conference halls, and I will invite you at that time also, and I hope that you will accept our invitation and you will come physically to our place and see that this is also one of the beautiful part of the world. So I am highly thankful to you, and of course Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was a great philosopher, great thinker, great scientist, and above all he was a great human being. And of course such type of programs will transmit the theory and idea of this great scholar to the coming generations, and I hope that our coming generations will learn much from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's theory, philosophy, and ideas, and they will become the refined human being of the world. I once again thank you all. I am highly thankful to my colleagues, Dr. Ashik Raza and Professor Iqbal Rena, Professor Riaz Ahmed Mirza, Dr. Ikhlaq Malik, who have exerted much and they have tried their best to organize this seminar in most lucrative way. And I think I congratulate all my students and staff for the great success of this seminar. And I again thank you with the hope that we will be meeting in future also. Though for the time being we are unable to sit in halls, but thank this technology which has still connected we people from the different parts of the world, and we are exchanging our ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your words of the wisdom. Thank you so much, sir. And now it's a time for the formal vote of thanks, and I will request the convener of this international conference, Professor Iqbal Rena, to please go for the formal vote of thanks. Though the words are less, but still formally we have to fulfill this obligation. So please, Professor Iqbal Rena, convener of the conference.
Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Worthy Principal Dr. Shakil Ahmed Rana Sahab, Principal of this college, keynote speakers, Professor Ravinder Rena, Professor of Economics and Internationalization Project, NWU Business School, Northwest University, South Africa, Professor Mame Moshi, author, researcher, Ethiopia, consultant on UNESCO's Higher Education Research and Knowledge Forum. Professor Shankar Chatterjee, former professor and head of Department, National Institute of Rural Development, Hyderabad, India.
बस 2 मिनट है ऐसे आके बनाया है
Dr. Ashik Sahab,
बनाया है फिर मैं
Dr.
मैं चेक कर
Sahab,
भेजनी है
and Professor Riaz Sahab.
शाम की तरह भेजनी है
It is really a great privilege for me that I am thanking the great educationist and academician on the eve of birth anniversary.
No sound. No sound.
First of all, I would like to thank principal of the college who created an opportunity for us and students to be a part of this brainstorming event. On behalf of entire institute and college management, I would like to thank keynote speakers, Professor Ravinder Rena, Professor Memo Moshi, and Professor Shankar Chatterjee for their thought-provoking lectures. I hope that these events and masterpiece lectures of our keynote speakers shall benefit our future generation. I would also like to thank College Culture and Literary Committee and Organizing Committee of this national webinar, Organizing Secretary of this national webinar, Dr. Ashik Malik Sahab, Technical Advisor, Professor Riaz Mirza Sahab, and Dr. Ikhlaq Sahab for this beautiful event. So it was really a great event in which we and our students have learned a lot from our keynote speakers, our intellectuals, and by means of the technology that has converted this whole universe into global village, because we are the resident of this global village, and we are deliberating upon the life of a practical teacher, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who once said, when a person asked him a question, where you will go after this presidentship, he beautifully said that I will go back to my classroom. He was really a great teacher, and I pray to Almighty Allah to grant him peace and to give him high place in Jannatul Firdaus. He was really a role model for the youngster, for we people, and we have to make ourselves a practical teacher, a practical academician, a practical intellectual. By this, we will be able to understand the real spirit of education. If we are not in a position to understand the real spirit of the education, then according to one great poet, he rightly said that Talim tere johre zati ko kha gayi, aabe hayat pee ke tujhe maut aa gayi. I once again thank all the participants, our keynote speakers, for their brainstorming and thought-provoking talks and lectures, and especially to our worthy principal and Dr. Ashik Malik Sahab, organizing secretary of this event, Dr. Ikhlaq and Professor Riaz Mirza Sahab, and the staff of our college, who we actually I would like to comment here. We like to say here that I am thankful to this technology. By means of this technology, I myself, which made myself able to interact with such a big personalities on this day. So thank you very much. Thank you so nice of. Have a good night. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Iqbal Rena Sahab, for a detailed and well presented vote of thanks. And we are also thankful to you for convening this international pertinent conference. And without your support, without your help, it was not possible. So thank you to you, and thank you once again to worthy resource persons, Professor Ravinder Rena, Professor Memushi, and Professor Shankar Chatterjee, all the colleagues and all the participants, and special thanks to worthy principal, Professor Shakil Ahmed Rana ji once again, and that who was a guiding force, who was inspiring, and who was leading from the front and by example to organize this pertinent event. And by this, we will conclude and rich tribute to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on his 89th birth anniversary, and he will live long in our hearts and minds. So thank you once again, thank you. And there is one announcement for the participant that we have already added the link for the certificates, so they can fill the feedback form. It's only for the participants. So thank you one and all, thank you so much. So if you can put the videos on, so we can go for the group photograph, please. If you can put all the we can say participants and worthy resource person, our worthy principal. Yeah, so screenshot, if we can put all. Yes. So all Professor Shankar Chatterjee, we are not seeing you, sir. Professor Shankar Chatterjee.
You see, are you able to see?
Yes, yes. This is the right position of your camera, sir. It's the right position, and now we can take the photograph. Final,
Okay,
but nothing final because hopefully we will meet soon in another webinar. As our worthy principal told that maybe in person you will visit, and Professor Memo, you are welcome to visit India, and particularly the Switzerland of India, that is Jammu and Kashmir. So most welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Yeah. So now shall we close the meeting? It was a wonderful experience. Really, it gave and we can say energy, lot of inspiration, encouragement, and how we all paid tribute to the people's president, that is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and maybe one of his aspects, if we follow, this world will be the real world for us and for the generation. So thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very
Goodbye.
much.
Okay.
Many thanks.
And
Hearty
congratulations to all,
congrats.
sir.
Wonderful
Congratulations to
job.
all. Okay.
Send us the link. Send us the
Thank you,
link if
everyone.
you
Thank
record.
Yeah,
you.
surely,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay,
Bye.
I'll send the video. We have the recording. I will send the video, sir. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.